Good morning, Rebels, and welcome back to my life. So we all know I'm a big fan of the Vlogbrothers, and one thing the Vlogbrothers talk about a lot is complexity. Complexity is, surprise, surprise, a complex subject, but John Green best sums up his argument with the statement that's almost a catchphrase by now: the truth resists simplicity. To understand other people and the factors that shape our society, we have to take into account the many varied circumstances that brought us to where we are today. This can be a healthy attitude to have, especially in academics, and can certainly instill an empathy for other people. But I find myself worrying it's too academic, and ultimately too privileged. And I only say privileged because, by their own admission, the Vlogbrothers have refrained from speaking out about certain topics because they're too personally invested in it and therefore unable to think about it complexly. But they can afford not to speak out about it because often it's an issue that doesn't affect them personally because of their societal situation. Thinking complexly is useful for studying things, especially after the fact, as in history, but I worry that sometimes we spend too much time studying and thinking about things and not enough time actually solving them. And I think that in certain contexts, simplicity can be a powerful tool that will isolate a key problem that, if solved, will help a lot. If somebody comes into an emergency room with a sliced artery, you can try and isolate the factors that led to the sliced artery, or you can, sew up the artery and save their life. And our society has many bleeding arteries that need to be sewn up. Now, of course, there will be many aspects to any big societal problem, and in isolating one of those aspects and trying to solve it, you might choose the wrong one. But if you only ever study the problem, it will never be solved. Here's an example I think about a lot. Around the world, millions of people die every year due to a lack of proper health care. And I'm not just talking about American healthcare where everything just costs a ton of money. And there is one major problem common to many of these places: a lack of clean water. So by identifying a relatively simple problem, a lack of clean water, and setting a simple goal, provide clean water to these places, you can form an organization like water.org. Now, the solutions for each area will be diverse, and a lot of complex problem solving has to happen on the ground, but it all starts with a simple goal: provide people with clean water. With human rights violations, we can go on and on studying all the factors that contribute to slavery or genocide or racism. But there are simple problems that are unconscionable, like, for example, the fact that every single day in America, police kill almost 3 people, and one of them is black. That means that not only are Americans in general hundreds of times more likely to die at police hands than in comparable countries like Canada or England or France, but black people in America form 12% of the population and 33% of the police victims. Now, I'll follow that up with a caveat that that is a best estimate because the police have for years failed to comply with the Department of Justice order to actually keep track and compile data on police killings. But that data is enough to go on if we want to recognize the problem and formulate a solution, because the solution may be complex, but the big fat problem is simple to understand, at least. So should we fail to speak out on this topic because we haven't thought about it complexly enough and it takes time to isolate all the factors that contribute to it? Or should we sew up the bleeding artery? About 150 years ago, some people in America realized that slavery was a problem and was wrong. A war was fought, a law was passed, and for the most part, slavery was ended in America. The solution was imperfectly carried out and cost many lives, and many more problems have stemmed from it, and we have not handled them well as a country. But ending slavery was the right thing to do. A simple solution for a simple problem. It did not magically make the world perfect, but it made it better. Total solutions, if there is such a thing, will rarely be simple, but sometimes there are big problems that are simple to understand, and it seems to me more effective to just confront them. Thanks for watching, Rebels, and I will see you all tomorrow. Maybe. Bye!